Glenn Saldana, Chairman and Managing Director at Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, joining in with us this morning on this blockbuster deal. Mr. Saldana, thank you so much for speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. Absolutely a pleasure to speak with you. ISB 2001 is being described as a jackpot deal, a sweeter than expected deal. Let's start with your take on why such a premium valuation at early stage of clinical trial. What is the proof of concept here? What is the promise?
Well, as you know, Glenmark, we've had a very long journey in innovation. We've been working on innovation for almost 25 years now, in various forms of innovation. And we think we finally hit on a drug which is actually transformational, which is ISB 2001. ISB 2001 is a drug for multiple myeloma. It's a trispecific antibody, and we've presented some excellent clinical data at various conferences in the US, first ASH, then ASCO, where we've demonstrated that most patients, in the 30-40 patients that we've reported, almost 79% of the patients have an overall response rate, which means the patients get better, and almost 30% actually get cancer free. So it's an extremely promising drug, and as this can actually transform the multiple myeloma treatment, which is almost a $30 billion market today. So with this, we've now partnered this with AbbVie, which is a global major, where we've given them rights for US, Canada, Europe, China, Japan, and Glenmark will commercialize in India and all the emerging markets. And it's one of the largest deals, so $700 million upfront, $1.2+ billion in various milestones and royalties. So truly transformational drug, which basically puts India and Indian pharma on the global map for its innovation capabilities.
It's astonishing. 30% of those in the first trials are cancer-free at the end of it. It's almost sounding like a miracle drug. What are the timelines on this, Mr. Saldana? By when will this be commercialized, ISB 2001?
So because of our partnership with AbbVie, I'm not at a liberty to disclose a specific timeline. But typically, some of these drugs, if you look at similar drugs, right, they typically take about 4-5 years to get to a commercial situation.
Right. Glenn, good morning. Hiral on this side. Good to speak to you after really long. Taking into consideration the milestones that will come in, the royalties that will come in, how big is the potential going to be? Because right now we're still talking about around $1.2, $1.25 billion. But if you have to look at 5 to 6 years from here, the potential that IGI will get, and in turn a Glenmark, because then the plans with IGI become absolutely important, right?
Well, so IGI is a 100% subsidiary of Glenmark, and I think with the upfront payment itself, IGI is well funded to continue research on the other products that they are currently developing. From a commercial standpoint, once this product commercializes, I mean, multiple myeloma today is a $30 billion market. It'll go up to becoming a $50 billion market. And I think with AbbVie's amazing capabilities in terms of commercialization, they could get a big chunk of the multiple myeloma market, and IGI in turn will receive double-digit royalties on their sales. So these are pretty large numbers when you look at it. And most innovative products have a period of 15 to 20 years of exclusivity. So that so it pretty much becomes an annuity at that point.
So to put all of this together, the R&D burden on Glenmark substantially goes down with the payments that come in, right?
That's correct.
So if that has to happen, a boost in terms of margins is what you will see as well. And secondly, what happens in terms of IPO plans? Is there anything with regards to IGI which, say, 3 or 4 years down the line, it will be a completely separate entity which will be listed?
So I think with the upfront payment and the fact it will cover 3-4 years of IGI's expenses. IGI spends about $70 million of a year on research. So it'll more than cover the next 3-4 years of spends of IGI. Post that, clearly the vision is to IPO IGI in the US markets, and that's something we will continue to pursue. So IGI can then be looked at as an independent entity. However, Glenmark will still own majority of the stake in IGI, and that's the way we're looking at the IPO at that point in time.
Glenn, morning, Neeraj here, and congratulations on this, and good for so many patients, more importantly. There is a commercial angle, but there is just this great patient angle, so great on that front. I know you can't give timelines, you mentioned in that answer, but from a cash flow perspective, you get 700 million upfront, the 1.2 billion in milestone. Is there, you may not have an exact timeline, but do you reckon that could come into Glenmark or 4 years, 3 years, 5 years?
So the way the 1.2 billion is split up is it's clinical milestones. The clinical trials are currently underway. So on completing certain phases of clinical development, we will receive a milestone. It's regulatory milestones. So when we file this product in US or AbbVie files in US and various geographies, right, or gets approval, we will receive regulatory milestones. And then it's commercial milestones, which on hitting a certain sales target, right, we will get those milestones. So I think that's the cumulative 1.2 plus billion is split into these 3 buckets. And as and when these events trigger, we will receive these milestones.
But you reckon, I mean, at least the filing could happen the next 12, 18 months, maybe?
I can't give you
You can't give. Okay, fine. Fair call.
Visibility on the timelines.
No problem. Glenn, the very quick other question that I have is, I mean, Glenmark and IGI are not just about ISB 2001. What else is on the anvil, if you can talk about that?
Well, IGI has the biggest thing about IGI is we built a specific platform, a multi-specific antibody platform technology over the last decade, right? What we call as the BEAT technology, which helps IGI come up with many more products similar to ISB 2001. And we have a follow-on product in ISB 2301, which comes into the clinics next year, which is an NK cell multi-specific antibody product. And we have several others in the early stages of development. So I think the platform that we built is world-class, and that can help us generate many subsequent assets, right? Which then we can go on to partner or commercialize in some geographies ourselves, as we're doing with ISB 2001.
Okay. Glenn, one question I have as a follow-up to this is you mentioned about what IGI has. If I have to look at Glenmark as well, the core business is given out a strong FY26 guidance led by India, as well as a ramp up in the US. What are those US niche products that could be launched in this year, which will add to the potential as well?
Well, our strategy for the US generics business is primarily to focus on respiratory products and injectables. So this year, we're hoping to commercialize 1 or 2 respiratory products in the US. We also have an injectable portfolio, which once we get our Monroe manufacturing facility back up and running, we're hoping to commercialize from the Monroe facility. But if you look at Glenmark more broadly, I mean, the strategy is to continue to move up the value chain for Glenmark. We've done deals in oncology with products like envafolimab. We recently in-licensed 2 products from Beijing, Tevembra and Brukenza, which we just launched in India. We have multiple other deals in the areas of dermatology, as well as respiratory, with the launch of Ryaltris being almost a $80 million product last year, becomes a very powerful product. So I think Glenmark has a great pipeline of products, which we are focused on commercializing, bringing to market, and further enhancing the opportunity there.
Well, congratulations on this, Glenn, and all the best with this and many more. Thanks so much for taking the time out and speaking to us today.